One of you guys recommended I compare Portra 400 with a digital emulation of Portra 400, so that's what we're going to do today. But first, here's some Cinestill 800T emulation, just as a sweet treat. And right off the bat, I'm loving it. Here's the backstory. The kind folk at Dehancer offered me some software licenses in exchange for a completely honest review of their product in use. So after many months of delay, here that is. This video is not an ad, I'm not trying to sell you something, I'm just testing out a new product the same way I would test out any other product, which is on a photo walk. Every single photo and clip in this video is labeled with what camera was used to take it, and if applicable, what film emulation or LUT was used on it. All of the videos in this video are edited with the Cinestill 800T emulation. However, I did turn halations way down. Any film grain that you see in this edit is from the Dehancer plugin. Between two different cameras and two different photographers, there is going to be a little bit of exposure difference, and some of the framing isn't going to be exactly the same.
What did you just say?
Did you got first world problems? You want the magnetic ND filter? I want to end my own.
I did notice the real film photos tend to run a little bit warmer. However, there's also a lot more tendency to overexpose. I can't speak for totally why. It could be the camera Dom was using, just how bright it was. It could be a number of things. This clip is zoomed into 3 times. So let's talk a little bit about the grain and the halation in the Dehancer program. This plugin also gives you a bunch of different sliders you can use to control what type of grain, how much grain, how big grain, how rough grain. You know, you can change a lot of things about the grain.
Should've just backed up a little further and let that car hit me.
Sometimes overexposure can make your film look kind of washed out. Using a digital camera with a film sim lets you get a more optimal exposure and a more usable image, sometimes depending on what you're after. While it's not a perfect emulation, you do get that film vibe, you get the bloom, you can control halation, you can add in or take out as much grain as you want, you can even color shift it a little bit if you'd like. I am not a fan of color grading. I have the same LUT that I use for everything. It's called Green Bloom. I created it when I was testing out a Pro Mist filter, and I think it even has a Canon LUT built into it. I really hate color grading. So what's really exciting about Dehancer, I will be able to edit all of my content, even stuff that like a friend shot and then airdropped over to me, with the same color grades, the same LUT, the same settings overall. Everything's going to look a lot more consistent, which I think kind of makes your work look a little bit more professional and polished. All right, so this part is a little bit cheesy, but can you tell which one is film and which one is the digital picture? This one's film. Film. Digital is on the right, now it's on the left. This is a digital photo. And then these two are film. I actually tested out Dehancer for some client work. Went into this cigar bar, I took some pictures, and then I edited them as normal, just an exposure edit, and then I launched them into Dehancer to see what I could get. I did lighten up the cigar humidor a little bit, and that kind of brought a little bit of that orange tint, that orange glow that is like almost a pre-halation into these photos. Long story short, they printed these out. They're on their grand opening pamphlet things, and they're also on the website, the Yelp, and the Google. So I'm noticing that people seem to like the way it looks. Now, I'm not condoning going and taking pictures and just shooting it into Dehancer and then sending those as the edited photos. You will have to edit your pictures a little bit afterwards, but Dehancer gives you a really, really consistent starting place. All right, let's get back to Detroit. I mean, hang on. The northern suburbs. As the sun was setting, we were absolutely blown away by the lighting in this situation. I know you did see one of these photos already, but I think these were some of the best photos of the day, so I don't feel bad sharing them again. All of these comparisons are on my website, by the way. You can get on there, it's under client work, you can scroll through and kind of get a closer view. Some of these YouTube comparisons, I have to really scale down the image. On my website, I also have my film development info if you want to send in a roll or two for me to develop, and a bunch of affiliate codes and discounts. Right now, I can get you a discount on Dehancer, on some off-road parts. I've actually been thinking about selling some bumper stickers too. This is a design I worked up.
I like your beard.
Overall, I am very impressed with Dehancer. I like it. I'm very excited to have the privilege to use this program. My biggest reasons: consistency in my edits. I'm not going to have to worry so much about how close do these two clips look. Does this match these other posts on my grid as far as videos go? It's gonna look fine. Also gonna be able to save a lot of time. I'm not gonna have to go and adjust a bunch of sliders and stuff. I'll just be able to do an exposure edit over all of my clips and then toss on this color grade and it'll look good. There are a couple of things I'm not a big fan of. The first one has to do with the Lightroom plugin. When I edit, I typically edit a lot of digital photos at once. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to figure out a way to batch edit with Dehancer. What you have to do is just load in a bunch of pictures and one at a time edit them in Dehancer, and you can save your edits and copy them and put them on the next one, but you have to launch Dehancer every time, and it's only one picture at a time, which is a shame because if I'm trying to edit 30 pictures from the same scene, it would be cool to just apply all the edits to the same thing. The second thing is you do have to tweak a lot of these presets. The halations are nice, but they seem to be kind of overplayed. Now I understand that's kind of the look a lot of people who would be purchasing Dehancer are after, and I get it. It looks sick, but it doesn't look like film actually does. So when I'm making a video and I want it to kind of look like film, I really tone down those halations. Now sometimes the halations, the bigger halations are really cool, other times they're not. So I do have my own presets I've already built on Dehancer to kind of tone it down a little bit and get a more realistic rendering of halations. So I've been honest and I tried to keep this as close to the normal format as possible so that you don't feel like I'm just trying to sell you something either. That is why we use this in kind of a real life setting. I also showed you some client work that I legitimately used Dehancer for, and then there's a bunch of clips sprinkled through here that are actually from another video, a trip up north, and some edits I actually made for this video. If you do decide to buy a license, Detroit 10 will get you a 10% discount off of any product except the phone app. And then that will also help support me, which means I can maybe buy another roll of film or tell my mom I made some money. So they asked me to talk a little bit about the phone app too. The phone app is nice because you get all the same presets, all the same sliders, all the same adjustments. So it's consistent between all three of your different apps: the phone app, Dehancer in DaVinci, Dehancer in Lightroom. Everything is the same between Lightroom, DaVinci Resolve, and your phone. which means that you can edit in any place and all three of those things are going to come out looking almost exactly identical. It's going to be consistent, which is cool. You could edit video on the go. That is why there are a bunch of vertical phone clips sprinkled through this video, and those are all edited with the app, which I do like. However, I'm going to be honest, I forget that I have phone apps a lot of the time. I just don't use them. The nice thing about the Dehancer phone app is you don't have to use it as a camera. You can actually just use your normal camera, shoot in log, shoot in whatever file format your phone uses, and then just import it like you would on Lightroom Mobile. Just print out an edited video. It's pretty sick. So that is it for tonight. I know I've been kind of delayed on this video for a while. I apologize to everyone at Dehancer and everybody that is just wondering, where the heck is that Detroit Mac guy? I need another video from him. Well, here I am in my basement, and we're making more videos. The next one is a fall video. It's about a 3-day camping trip we took up north to the Keweenaw Peninsula, where we did a bunch of off-roading. We explored a bunch of abandoned places, and I got a lot of really solid portfolio shots up there. I'm very excited to share that video. One of my buddies almost lost his truck on the trip. That's not clickbait. You're gonna have to subscribe and see next time I post. Right after Dom showed up, this guy was talking to us for a couple minutes, asked for a few bucks for water, and then unveiled that he is the next big thing. He is a rapper from Detroit. I just thought I'd showcase some of his work. He told us to listen to this song on the way home.